Breaking news, everyone. It's not been a great time for animatronics across the Disney parks, but mostly in Japan and the international locations. Take a look at this. Poor Rapunzel, let down your hair. Well, the crows are tearing into making that come true. Look at this, folks. Those crows are ripping apart poor Rapunzel. Look at her, and she's not doing anything to defend herself. Oh, not Rapunzel. Shake a hand. Nod if you need help. MJ, this is a travesty. It's a tragedy. Look at what those crows are doing to poor Japanese Rapunzel.
In the hair.
Oh, they're just ripping out. They see they've got a way to make it.
Yeah, they're using her hair to make a nest. Are they pulling it off of her?
They're trying to.
Oh yeah, they're pulling it off. Oh my goodness.
That's right.
That's
we have a bad week for animatronics. Animatronic dies in front of guests at Disneyland Paris. Poor Olaf, he died. He did, and guess what? He lost his little nose when he did so. We'll play the clip right here for you, and then we've got a broader topic to talk about. I mean, this is not a TPM video right now, although we love TPM vids. But take a look. Here he is, folks. Watch him. Oh. Now, if that was Culture at this moment, he would be ready to rock and roll against the EMTs. Culture, I don't recommend you do so. But here's Olaf one more time. Watch him go down. 3, 2, 1. He's happy. He's talking.
Okay, all right. In the error, that error is 100% because he's on an uneven surface. He's self-balancing, and that particular movement back and forth took him out of his balance position. The animatronic, the robot, basically didn't understand what to do next to stay in balance, and so he fell backward.
All right, let me talk about the nose for a minute, too. The nose is supposed to come off in this kind of a situation. I know it looks a little disturbing, but I'm sure the nose is magnetically clipped on. Yeah. The reason for that is if Olaf were to hit a corner or something, they don't want the nose to break. They want it to just simply break off and they can reattach it. So that's why it's doing that. But not a great week for animatronics, and it's so bad right now that even Jimmy Fallon is making fun of this.
Yeah.
Here's Jimmy Fallon making fun of the animatronics at Disney. We can only play a few seconds because NBC, they are looking to get us. Here's a clip from Jimmy Fallon. Laughing. Okay, wait. Let's go back to animatronic. Is this Sven? Is that his name? Sven? I think it's Sven.
Yeah, Sven. Oh no, that's the. Hold on, let me think. Give me a second.
Other guy. Okay, here we go.
Worry not. Malfunctions are rare, and I can assure you us animatronics are reliable as ever. Would you like me to sing you?
You get the...
Christoph. Yeah, Christoph. Sorry.
It's made the mainstream, folks. They're making fun of the animatronics. Guys, what I want to talk about today, because again, we're not TPM vids. We love TPM vids, and we could do that kind of stuff where we just play the broken animatronics. And well, that's every ride on Tiana's Bayou Adventure right now. But, what I'd rather talk about is now that Disney's doing these walk-around characters, I got to think that there's going to be some really strange breakdowns like Olaf. And if they're going to do robot Mickey Mouse, they need to have a plan in place where Mickey doesn't stroke out or have a heart attack or starts leaking oil in certain places. I mean, Culture, this could go badly for families who are like, sweetie, sometimes Mickey just convulses like that. Just let's keep going. What do you think, Culture? What about these walk-around characters and the ability for them to be broken in ways that you wouldn't see from others?
Well, and that's the problem is that even with the level of stress testing that Imagineering puts on a lot of these roam around items, they're not going to account for every situation. Real world is always going to offer up something like that on an even surface or something like that the self-balancing can't correct for. And I think we're going to see more and more of these malfunctions. But one thing I think that Disney could do to prevent that is to contract Elon and get Optimus robots and similar things to replace these animatronic characters with fully functional robots for much cheaper than what it costs to build one of these animatronics. Because not only would they probably hold up better, they would look more authentically anthropomorphized. I think that's the next area I think that Elon could get into if he wanted like a side venture.
Well, here's the thing, Culture. You're right. Yeah. They must do these kinds of characters. They have to get it right. Yeah. And I'm not trying to rag on Disney. I think the little Olaf thing is impressive. But Culture, they have to do this.
Yeah.
Because if Elon's going to roll out Optimus robots, and we plan this month, I think the plan is for him to reveal the production Optimus that's going to start working in his factories, and then they'll start rolling it out to individuals who want to buy an Optimus Butler robot. But if that's going to be a norm now, where you're going to see humanoid robots, Disney, at least, a huge chunk of the reason they're special at their parks is because they have animatronics. And as soon as those Optimus robots roll out, that's not special anymore at Disney. It looks old and antiquated. So Disney's got to roll these out and get ahead, and they got to do so now. But there are problems with doing this, in that if a robot goes dead in front of your kid, it's a little bit weird, and you can't just pull the curtain in the way. In fact, if we play this one more time, you can see that when this happens, they don't have a good plan. It's like, hey guys, could we carry this guy out of here? And the kids, they just see the whole thing. So what do you think, Culture? What's a good way to handle this, where they've got access to the robots walking around, but we can also hide if they collapse?
I think it's important that you have a base station nearby, something like a cart or something that he comes in and out of, because that way it's for a limited time that you see him in an incapacitated state. I think that's probably the best thing to do. I think the best version of a roam around robot was the mobile lab for Muppets, which you often saw in Epcot and places like that. I think there's a way to hide a lot of this stuff. And again, self-balancing is hard. And again, I think that was just an error correction bug right there. So every time I see this clip, I'm like, okay, I kind of think I know what was going on there, and it just couldn't debug fast enough. But look, when you're relying on some of this stuff that you can pick up off the shelf at like Robot Shop or whatever, you really do need to do as much testing as you possibly can. But you also need an immediate fail location, and that's why I think having Push didn't need one of those, right? I mean, you could just roll Push off like a regular garbage can, easily explainable. But with Olaf and some of these robots that they're going to offer over in the Star Wars area, I think you're going to need like a base station that they can roll in and roll out of when they need to.
MJ, what are your thoughts on the elements and just the variables that come into play when you're not inside a large warehouse where these animatronics usually are playing? Watching this, it's kind of funny, but it's a little disturbing. If you're a kid, you're like, Mommy, why are the crows killing Rapunzel? So what do you think about the idea that we're going to have some better ways to protect these animatronics when they're out and about?
Well, yeah, to Culture's point, on the Disney Cruise Line, they actually do have an Olaf in a cart. So when you're on the Wish and you're doing the Frozen dinner show, so you have your characters, Anna and Kristoff and all of them come out, and then they bring Olaf in a little cart, and he's an animatronic, and he's doing someone from wherever they're operating him, and he's talking. But I think that's a really good saving method for this type of situation. And Culture, I was thinking about the ground level I was looking at the layers, how when Olaf fell over, it reminded me of when we saw footage from the Ursula accident, when she completely got caught into the what are those, the things in the roads over there on Main Street for the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween parade. So Ursula's on like a spinning wheel kind of mechanism. She had either fell or those wheels got stuck. And then one of the fairy godmothers during the regular daytime parade, she just completely flew off of the wheels on that one. So everyone, it was like an exposure. And now the kids probably were freaking out.
Let me tell you, hold on, MJ.
Yeah.
That sounds horrific for the actor, but it sounds hilarious in person that a fairy godmother or whoever
she did.
went flying. I mean,
The green one. Okay. The green one. No, she's okay. I'll send you the video. But they really have to either level this type of surface if they know we're going to have actors or any kind of animatronics coming through, or pave a way so that they're on that specific level, ground surface level type of situation, because he cannot just go roaming around the whole park. He's going to get stuck. He's going to fall over again. He's going to keep tripping. So they really have to look into all of this. I'm thinking about the droids over in Galaxy's Edge also, how they haven't had any accidents yet. But a lot of it has to do with that the flooring. So that's to Culture's point. But to Rapunzel, I don't know how anyone's going to save her from that tower and help her hair. So her and Tiana need to go to the wig store.
The only thing I know to do is the only thing I know to do is if it senses somebody is around or an animal is around, it needs to fire like a little alarm that would scare the crows away. Crows are so darn smart though, and they looked at that hair and they said, "Man, I see a nest. I see a nest." I'll tell you who's got it going on though, and it's the folks over at Epic Universe, the Isle of Berk, where they've got the dragons. And you can meet and greet. Of course, they have problems too. They've got walk around dragons, and they have errors, they have issues, but they've got them close where they can get them out of sight and out of mind. And Donkey, of course, is an animatronic system too over at Universal, and they can quickly pull the cover over there if they need to, if Donkey is malfunctioning. So there are this, folks. I think this is the new thing we're going to be viewing is walk around animatronics. And with that's going to come a lot of sort of embarrassing moments for all of the theme parks, but they got to do it because the stationary animatronics inside rides no longer a big deal as soon as Optimus and the other robots roll out. And we're hearing that's going to be real soon. The whole world changing and theme parks too.
Thanks for watching That Park Plays News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media accounts.